So today's day 109, and I am being driven back to trail by my lovely wife, who does not want to be on my video. 27 years one day. I took her out to a beautiful restaurant this morning, and then we capped it off with drinks at McDonald's after ice cream in between. And now we are heading back to trail to resume hiking for me, and she'll resume driving. But yeah, it was a much needed break, and get onto trail and then get going. So I'll check back in once I get on trail. It's about 85 degrees, perfect hiking weather. Just a storm came through, but did not have to hike in that, so that's good. And then I'll check in as I get going. Going to be a short day of hiking, and yeah. Oh, by the way, I did get a nice trim on my beard, so looking good for the next couple weeks. All right. So today is a 5-miler. Which I've done about 4 of it already. Elaine dropped me off at the trailhead about 5 o'clock, maybe, no, a little after. Anyhow, I was just thinking that most of the Appalachian Trail is done, I'll call it relative obscurity, because like I'm out here all alone, just hiking along, and you know, nobody's prodding me along, nobody's telling me what to do, nobody's seeing what I'm doing other than you guys. And it's really an interesting thing that before social media, people did this, and they spend days without really seeing many people, except for in the shelters or hostels. But even those there were less of those back in the day, and there was less like town amenities, very few shuttle drivers. So the early AT hikers carried bigger packs with more food to last more days, with less chance of, quote, rescue if something went wrong. And they had to rely on each other, probably, well, more than what I have to rely on others for. I mean, yeah, we might share water, you know, like get water or snacks from somebody if we're running low. But for the most part, every couple days I can get what I need from a town. And because I feel right now that I'm kind of in between, like I'm behind all of the people that I started with because of my days off, which I loved my days off. I feel like I'm playing catch up. So with that said, I feel like it's time to continue my long days. I mean, I'm still averaging, I think, 32,000 to 40,000 steps a day on average on a weekly basis in the last 4 to 6 weeks. And where was I going with that? Well, I'm going to try to go, I'm carrying a little more food. Towns are a little further apart than they were in New Jersey, New York, and then even Connecticut. And I'm going to be doing Neros instead of zeros, averaging probably 120-mile weeks, which will give me extra time to rest and do shorter days, you know, at least once a week. But then not relying on hostels as much. That's kind of the thought right now, and we'll see how that plays out. My goal has always been to finish this by August 5th, which I don't know if you've been keeping track when I occasionally throw in a date, but that's, I think, 45 days from today. I've been on trail. This is day 109, and it is a short day, so that changes that affects my average. So with that into account, we'll see how it goes, and I will check in when I get to camp, which should be in about half hour. All right. Well, yeah. Nice clearing. Although, can't really see what I'm seeing. Nice pond and lots of mosquitoes. So, I'm gonna keep moving along. There's a much better view. There's a slight breeze on the pond. And mosquitoes really like me tonight. Anyhow, there we go. We'll move along. Hi. It is dinner time, and I am trying to decide what to eat. So I packed out 3 days of food because I am intending on going about 3 days before my next resupply and my next town stop, which I believe is Dalton is about 40. It's about 40 miles from here, I think. And by then I should be culled down on my snacks. So I'm just kind of organizing right now. As you know, I'm not really doing carnivore because I thought that was too difficult for me, and I will get back to that when I get back to civilization for good. I just thought that it was, anyhow, the availability of food and whatnot at the weight, and I didn't want to carry the weight because I want to get the miles, blah, 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 blah. So I'm reorganizing. I brought out a McDouble, actually 3 McDoubles from McDonald's. I got some tortillas with some meat, and I'm going to eat the meat tonight, half of it, a third of it, this much of it. And that'll be partly that, and then I have some salami, which I'll eat these two. This is going to be the first stuff that I get rid of because it's more perishable than the rest of it. And then I'll go to Skippy peanut butter with tortillas as my protein source going forward. I have some protein bars and a bunch of other stuff. So I'm gonna eat. I do have plenty of water here. Today was only 5 miles, so I'm like full of energy, and I set up my tent already. Everything is kind of done. Did I mention I got a trim? Yeah, there you go. But I can hear the water behind there, so I'm gonna drink a lot of water, try to get as hydrated as I can. There's a shelter for tomorrow in 15 miles, but I'm trying to get out of here early. I'm the only one at the shelter, so which really doesn't play into it. It just makes it weird tonight. Usually there's people around. Get out early tomorrow. Try to get the 15 done by, say, 2 o'clock. But taking rests depending on the weather. I mean, it's really cool right now because it rained. So I'm not too worried about that. So that's what's going to happen. This is day 109. I'm unsure if I'm going to combine it with 108 because that was a short day as well. So yeah, like my plan going forward is to try to get as many days 20s as I can. And that's going to be big resupplies, bigger than I've been doing. I mean, it's still only 2 to 3 days, so other people are carrying 4 to 5. But the towns are going to come up pretty fast and furious. This is probably going to be my biggest because I think the next resupply will probably be a 2-day because there's a couple more northern towns that are closer together. So that's all I have for tonight. I'm going to eat up. I'm going to continue to work on my YouTube videos. I really find that it's hard to keep up with the daily tasks of just kind of consolidating things and doing some light editing. And then I get into a town and I have to do everything. So trying to stay ahead of that even with big days. I thought maybe when I take a break in the middle of the day, that would be time where I could do some editing. So, cheers. See you tomorrow.